All right, check this out. I am in Durand, and we got a Westbound coming. It's crazy cool because when we were pulling in here,
Welcome.
I looked at
Mode.
the signals there. They all looked red.
3, 4.
We'll turn that to here on Eastern. Leave this on the Flint main channel. Flint and Holly main channel. But yeah, we got a Westbound coming pretty soon, which is really cool. Because like I said, when we pulled up here, all of those were red. Yeah, I don't see anything down there yet, but I'd say within 20 minutes it'll come. Because usually they set the signals 20 to 30 minutes in advance. The PTCs they do anyways. The defaults are I think a maximum of 3 hours in advance. Like the ones that are down there, and then the ones for the Chicago Y over here, the ones for the Ys are probably 45 minutes, an hour in advance. Yeah, those are red. The Chicago Y is red, so I mean, kind of goes without saying, because like there's the Westbound coming, and I mean there's two mains here, so the something coming, something on the Chicago, or could take the Chicago Y while the Westbound comes, but it's kind of unlikely. So yeah, let's see down there again. Yeah, there ain't nothing down there yet. All right, so it'll be a few minutes before this Westbound shows. As I said, it's flashing yellow, so it's on the main. So, it's on the second main, which is that track furthest. And if it's on the second main, that most likely means that there's going to be a meetup. Because if it was on the first main, they don't usually do meetups when it's on the first main. I mean, I could be wrong, but that means they probably, if it's flashing yellow, that means that they have to take it they have to come on to the second main at a reduced speed. That until the eastbound rolls through. Well, I see the end of the eastbound, or until the back end of their train is fully onto the second main. Usually, I think EOTs are the ones that are the devices that tell them whether they're. I don't know if that's how that works, but I could be wrong on that. But I think EOTs are the ones that tell the trains that they're doing some leaf blowing over there, or, well, no leaves, but they're doing some kind of, I think they're just like blowing the dust or blowing the sand off or something. Yeah, like I said, I think EOTs might be the ones the devices that tell the train that the back end of them are fully on the switch, or fully onto the, I don't know how that, like I said, I don't know exactly how that works. So, yeah, I have my setup over here. I've got obviously I got my radio. I got my Paw Patrol backpack, which I absolutely love, and I got a bottle of Propel. And my tripod. I haven't put my phone on my tripod yet, because I just got here and I wanted to pull out this phone and start filming. I mean, there's nothing coming quite yet, but I wanted to pull out my phone before, start filming. See what, yeah, nothing down there yet. Although I do kind of think I see something down there. Although I could be wrong. Because if it was, if I don't see any headlights, but so if it was a train, that's down there, it wouldn't be legal because the train wouldn't have their light, any of their lights on, and they'd see the flashing ditch lights as well, because the ditch lights turn on as soon as they hit the horn. Modern locomotives, their horns are big buttons. The older ones, they're like pull levers. I think trains after, I think like built after like 1990 have the buttons. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but yeah. All right, now my phone's on my tripod. I'm gonna sit here, wait for this Westbound to pull through. There's default signals down there. I don't know if you can see them real well on here, but they're way down there. There's two of them. There's one for the second main, which faces the west, so they're both for eastbound. Eastbound traffic. I thought the signals were going off for a second, but there's one for both for eastbound traffic. One is for the second main, and the other one is for where the second main connects back in with the first main, and the second main ends down there. There's two of them. There's one for that, and then there's one for the second main. The one for the second main obviously is going to be red because that's where the westbound's coming on. So, and I can't really see the one behind it, which is for the main. It's default. They both have mile markers on them. So yeah, but it's kind of hard to see the default that goes back onto the main. But I think it's green, either green or it's either red. I can't really tell from the angle, but it's one of the three colors, obviously. It looks like it could be yellow, and that usually means that whatever eastbound comes through here has to take it at a slow speed, which I think on this is 35. I think a solid yellow is 35 and a flashing yellow is 25. And then if they're switching over to, although there could be something coming to take the Detroit Y off of the from the west end of the Flint line, I just don't know, because like I said, that looks either red or yellow. I can't really tell. I can tell it's not green, but it's either red or yellow. If it's red, obviously, like I said, something is going to come take the Detroit Y off the west end of the Holly sub or the Flint sub, and then we got the westbound coming here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we have a train that's coming to take the Detroit Y off of the east end of the Flint sub. I don't know. Or we could have something coming north or south from the Diamond. But if that was the case, then all of the signals over here would be red. So yeah, there's obviously something coming. Like I said, it's gonna be a little bit probably before it shows up. It's probably it probably came out of Flint 10 minutes ago. Oh, as soon as like I said, when we were pulling in here, I looked over, all of them were red. And then after I looked up at them, after I got underneath the pavilion, we had the flashing yellow for the second main. So And they must have just dispatched it out of Flint when I got here. So it'll probably be 10, 15 minutes before anything shows up. But yeah, I'll be sure to start recording once. I'll kind of know when it comes because I'll hear the horn. The last the crossing before this one over here, which is Newburgh Road. I think it's New Lothrop Road. Is the last crossing in Durand that they blow for. Because Durand, as a city, has a no horn ordinance. I don't know. I don't fully understand those, but yeah. I know. I think here in Eastern still blows their horns through the city, but however, CN does not. It's a very weird thing. I don't know. Maybe the yeah. I don't think here in Eastern. I think here in Eastern does blow their horn because when you come up to a crossing like that's north of the city, just north of the city, like over by kind of like by the Dollar General, you don't see any signs that say no horn. But I believe on Main Street, yeah, I can see it from here. There's the advanced warning sign for the Main Street crossing, and I see a little thing underneath it that says no horn. Well, I can't see what it says, but I'm pretty sure that's what it says. There's no horn, so no train horn. So I think it's just like maybe like a whole I don't know how to explain like the area where they can't blow the horn. I know they blow it north of the city because just north of here because like not the Main Street crossing but the crossing after it over by the Dollar General. Because I've heard it and sometimes I'll hear it and I'll be like, oh hey, there's a train coming, but I'm like, no, they're going north, Sometimes I'll hear GLC blow it. GLC used to be Tuscola and Saginaw Bay Railroad, or TSB for short. Like that, they go based on their reporting mark. Like, here on the Eastern is HESR, Canadian National CN, GLC, Great Lakes Central is GLC. Tuscola and Saginaw Bay, they have quite a few lines out here throughout here. They have some of them were Penn Central. Some of them were Penn Central. Some of them were New York Central. Some of them were Central Michigan Railroad. Some of them were Tuscola and Saginaw Bay. Some of them were Grand Rapids and Indiana, or Grand Rapids and Indianapolis, I think is what it is. Some of them were Grand Rapids Eastern, I believe. Some of them were Detroit and Kalamazoo. They just have used to have a whole bunch of lines. Some of them were CNO, and that was obviously before that was right after the CNO and Seaboard Railroad merger, which became CSX. So that's what they stand for. The C is CNO, or Chesapeake and Ohio. The S is Seaboard, and then the X doesn't really have a meaning. I think it's supposed to mean like transportation, although CSX as a whole calls themselves CSX Transportation, so I don't know what the X is really supposed to be for. But yeah. Alright, well, I don't know. Over here, if you go over here a little bit, no, I don't think that's, well, is it? No, that's not it. Over here, there's a ENS sign, which is kind of crazy. I think that might all actually be for like the switch, but it's like, I don't know, it's more of a, I think it's more for like the track where the switch goes, because like, kind of it's still CN property. So I don't know how those work. I know there's one right here on the gate, on this gate over here, and it's got a G at the end of it, which I think G just usually means gate. And then there's the wheelchair lift storage shed over in Lapeer that has a V on the end of it, which I believe the V just is probably for like storage equipment or something. I can't read what that one says because I'm not close enough to it. Like I said, my vision's not the greatest anymore, which is weird because I'm 31 years old and like, yeah. I don't know. All right. Still no headlights yet, so I don't, it'll be a little bit before anything shows up here. So I thought I heard the horn blowing, but nope. I was looking down there and I see the sun reflecting off the crossing or signal over there. And I thought those were headlights. When I looked down there, I zoomed in on my phone. I'm like, no, that's not it. So I don't know exactly. I think I see like a yellow light somewhere, which is weird. I did hear something on the radio. I don't know if it was Canadian National or here on an Eastern. I think it was Canadian National. I don't know if you see that there's like a flashing yellow light over there, like to the top of the, almost like to the top and just to the left of the crossing. I don't know if this will pick it up. That might be the train there. Yeah, you kind of see it above the crossing signal over there on the right, just above it to the right on the right signal. It's not really picking up on here, but I don't know what that is. It's like in the air too. I'm gonna have to zoom in, try to zoom into that. I did hear something over the radio. It said I think they said 675. No. I think it was 656 to 657 or something like that. 655, I don't know, something 5 and 7. I know that. Like I think it was 645 and 647 is what they said. I think it was 645 to 647. I don't know if that was CN or here on the Eastern. I think it was CN because I haven't heard any action from here on the Eastern, so I don't think it's here on the Eastern. But there's someone over there too. Cool, older guy. So it was probably the train, the westbound talking to the eastbound is what I'm assuming. I'm sure there's going to be an eastbound because they wouldn't route the westbound onto the second main if there wasn't going to be. And I looked at everything else, and like the Detroit or the Chicago Y is red. I don't know if the Detroit Y, I don't know what it's for. The Detroit Y, even if the Detroit Y was green, they wouldn't set this signal for the westbound to be medium yellow. They would set it to be high green, so because they wouldn't have to approach at a slower speed. So yeah, I'll give it I don't know, it's been 25 minutes since I've got here, so I'll see what happens. Alright, so I finally got headlights. Kind of hard to see from this angle, but you can see the headlights down there. And he's blowing for whatever street that is. And you heard my radio go off, so he's coming. I would have liked to catch the defect detector going off, but I mean I wasn't able to catch the front end over it because they detect CN defect detectors have two transmissions, one for when the front end goes over, one for the rear end. When the rear end goes over, the one for when the front end goes over is just to let the crew know that the detector is working properly, and the second one is the final details, like the speed, the amount of axles, the temperature, and whether they have defects or not. Canadian National calls them hotbox detectors around here, but universally they're called defect detectors. Basically, they're just flaps with like metal flaps that are above the track or between the tracks, and if like something's dragging and it catches one of the flaps, they'll tell they'll over the radio it'll tell the crew, hey, there you have something dragging on axle 49 or whatever. Or if if it's something's too hot, like if let's say like right now it's I think 80 it's 80 degrees right now here in Durand. So if the temperature was like 110 degrees, something is getting really hot, and it'll tell the temperature over the radio, and they'll have to go into emergency mode and stop. Same thing if something's dragging. Yeah, I have to wait. Wait a second. Maybe it'll be a few seconds before this crossing starts to turn on and stuff. So it'll be I don't know, probably 10 to 15 seconds before this crossing activates, and it'll probably be another minute to 1 to 2 minutes before the train actually gets over here. So like I said, flashing yellow, medium yellow, so they have to. Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Right now too?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, cool. So we got 2 trains coming actually, which is really cool. Alright, so the one that's coming to take the Chicago Y, yeah, that one's coming up here pretty quick.
95 north, enter Flint sub, main 2 west, that's Durand with a 40 mile an hour, 245 to 34 out.
Signal call out. Oh, this is gonna be cool. We get a picture of the both of them. This one has 2 locomotives. Obviously, it's going to be an auto rack. Here comes that Westbound rolling in. Locomotives in the front for that one. This is a cool one. doesn't have a neat view. Like, I think that's the end. Cool. That was cool. Alright, it's been a little bit, and we got a high green for main 2. So, that might mean we're going to have another meet. You can see it says, you know, screen for main 2. Woo. So, I don't think there's anything eastbound coming, so there might be something else coming to take the Chicago Y. I haven't heard any GLC anything, so I don't think anything from GLC is gonna come. At least not right now, anyways. They might come earlier in the day, I don't know. But yeah, we got a high green for main 2. So I did hear something staticky on my radio earlier. I don't know if it was GLC or something else that was CN, but it'll probably be 20 minutes, maybe not quite 20 minutes before that one gets here, because it's a high green, so that means they can approach it at full speed. So, I'm just gonna look down the track right now and see if I see anything. Yeah, nothing yet. I think they just changed it as well. So that's, you know, there's gonna be, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe before that gets here. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be another meet because on main 2. If there's going to be another meet, it would they probably wouldn't be green. Although I don't know why I don't know. There could be something coming. I just don't know. See what happens. Alright, so it looks like they switched that train to the first main, and they gave it a flashing or medium yellow, so it's gonna approach this at a slow speed. And I think Huron and Eastern is gonna do a move, because I see
4.
I see a load of cars that looks like it's on the main line that comes back this way.
3 to main, we got lights, bells, gates, crossings protected. Let's go 25, 25.
Oh, hey. Cool. So yeah, Huron and Eastern is going to do a shove back onto the highway, or the Port Huron Y. And here they come, actually. That's crazy. Flashing yellow for another westbound. It was a high green on the second main, but they changed it back to the first main and gave it a medium yellow, so here comes Huron and Eastern.
We're in the Port Huron Y. Give you a fresh 22
main 15.
There they are on shoving down, coming back. Still got a flashing medium yellow over here, so. Listen to those brakes. Those are loud. Those are loud. Oh, they're coming back even more. That's crazy. That was wild. They're going back even more now. Damn. That was loud. I think I hear the locomotive on the other side of the track. On the other side of I can't see it though. I smell berries. I don't know why, but I smell berries. I can zoom. I'm gonna zoom out here. Just put it that way. I have no idea what they're doing. Usually when they shove back like this, they just switch tracks to get to a certain track. I see the conductor walking on the other side of the cars over there. She has legs. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure he's inspecting cars, making sure everything's like, I don't know how to describe it. I do hear the locomotive though. I bet the people that are both here and on Main Street are pissed because, you know, he's blocking both crossings. I mean, looks like they gave room for the westbound, but the westbound, but I don't think the westbound is gonna come that soon. Like I said, I don't know exactly what they're doing. Oh, they gave it the high green. So cool. They gave it the high green on the first main. When I first seen the medium yellow on the second main, I thought, hey, you know, there's gonna be another meetup, but they switched it to, well, first they switched, at first it was a high green on the second main, then it was a medium yellow on the first main, and now it's a high green on the first main. So it means, you know, that means whatever's coming is gonna approach at full speed, which I believe is 70. I think track speed is 70 through here on the Flint main. Looks like this guy is gonna go forward. Sounds like he's releasing the brakes. Bell too. Listen to that bell. Hey, I see headlights down there. I see headlights. That westbound's coming. There's headlights down there. These people at Newburgh Road are going to be kind of mad because, well, if this guy continues to pull forward, they're going to be in for a treat once this guy gets off the circuit. And This train, they might stay on. I don't know. Let's see if they stay on. They probably will. Yeah, it looks like they're staying on. I think people are crossing the tracks. Which is really funny. Oh, nope, they're not going to stay on. Just before New Losslip Road. Yeah, I see people crossing up there too. He might be waiting for this guy, the HCSR train to do their job. They were moving backwards for a second. I just felt the water drop. I don't really know why they stopped. I think what they may be doing, they may be routing this train, the one that's coming west, might be routing this train. Oh no, he's coming. They might be routing this train to second main, but I could be wrong. He's getting closer though, it looks like. There goes the crossing, it's activating now. Yeah, he's getting on the first main. Right? Oh, earlier I was here, there was a westbound N1 coming to take the Chicago line. They both met up right there. leaving, and we caught another train. Oh, they're going to Detroit too. Holy cow. So we'll be here in a minute. Hit the stop button. I was trying to zoom out. Got some stacks on them. And there's the end of them.